811, welcome back. September is Suicide Prevention Month, a time to raise awareness, promote hope, and also normalize seeking help for your mental health. Suicide affects millions of people every year, not just adults, but teenagers. Very serious concern there. This morning, we've got Darlene Cosenza, President and CEO of Crimestoppers GNO, to talk about how teens can help one another, their friends who may be struggling, also the help that's available. Good morning.
Good morning.
Y'all have been talking about this for a while now and really strengthening this.
Absolutely, because back in the day, and we actually heard this on our think tanks, and we talked about this on air. Students say, our families, we were told never to talk about this. And that's what we thought. We're like, talking about it might maybe make somebody decide that they're going to hurt themselves. And that's not true. So what we're seeing and what we're asking people to do is talk. This is a burden that as a friend, and that's where we get a lot of our information. And just last week, we had a student report that their friend was struggling, had been struggling, and then posted something very graphic about, I'm going to harm myself today. And luckily, because of that tip, we had law enforcement do a welfare check. The child is okay. The child actually texted back and said thank you. Thank you to their friend who spoke up and helped them. And that's today. This is what we want you to know. We want parents to talk to their children. It may not be them who's struggling, but certainly if their friends are struggling, this is not a burden that the friend should bear by themselves. And that's what they tell us, but I don't want to be the person that rats my friend out. My friend told me to keep this a secret. Well, there's times when we need to speak up, and things like this, abuse, is not a secret.
Right, in this case, you're the first line of defense in many ways.
Definitely. So what we do know in Louisiana, actually one of the statistics that's frightening, every 45 days, we lose somebody to suicide. We also know that the second leading cause for young children, and we don't think about our young kids, but 10 to 14 years of age, second leading cause of death is suicide. And of course, the third leading cause of death for older children, 15 to 24. So obviously these things are going on. We know that, students can struggle, and there's certainly warning signs that we want families to think about. Past attempts. If you see that your friend is all of a sudden truly just sad, they're changing how they behave, they're changing, maybe they're more risky, they're talking about hurting themselves, and they're doing this, continually. They're sad, they're withdrawing from the things that they like to do. Self-harm, cutting. We have a lot of students reporting cutting. But if they've been a victim of some type of traumatic experience or abuse, these are all things that we want to make sure that we're thinking about. And as a friend, you're thinking about it that, hey, maybe I need to tell another adult. And through us, it's anonymously, but we want to, just kind of bring it to light that we're there for you. And that's the conversation you're having with your friend or even your child. We are there for you. The other thing that we found very interesting and we talked about was the students who had issues. When they reported that when I had issues, we said, we asked them, okay, well, are you going to tell your counselors? Who do you talk about this? And as a parent, it's hard to hear, but many of them felt like their parents didn't keep it confidential. So I think our conversation for parents is just to think about when your student your child comes to you and tells you something about, I'm really struggling. Have that conversation on how we're going to share that information and who we're going to share that information with. Because at least in 3 different programs that we did, they were like, no, I felt like they talked to people they shouldn't have, and then they were embarrassed because of whatever the issue was. So it's a tough road for our parents, but when we're hearing those things, we want to make sure that we talk about being sensitive.
And that's the major focus of Safe Schools Louisiana.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, well, Darlene, thank you so much for coming on again and sharing this very important matter. Again, we do have more information on the Safe Schools Louisiana program. That's on our website, WWLTV.com. Just look under the links tab. It is 8:15 on this Tuesday morning. Let's keep things